Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Greenville Gab. Thanks for showing up tonight for the show. Probably, I don't know how long we're going to talk tonight, or this might end up being. So, um, let's go ahead and make sure one, you can hear me. Great. Two, give me a comment. Let me know that you're watching, where you're watching from. Always want to know where you guys are coming from. So, tonight's content is going to be different. I'm sitting here. It's been a long day. I have my glass of wine. I'm ready to go straight into story time to tell you about the real estate market and basically what my day has been. So I'm excited to kind of tell you, like, one, I get this question every single year. Aubree, it's the holidays. Should I be looking to buy or sell a house right now? Well, the easy answer is yes. There are plenty of people that are still looking to sell their house. There's plenty of houses to buy. Interest rates are doing their thing. I'll let you talk to a lender about that. And we're still helping people buy houses. I actually just helped a client put a house under contract today, and I'm going to help another client tomorrow put a house under contract, and I'm putting their house on the market next week. So, what I have to tell you about that is the holidays are a crazy time in real estate. I find that for some people, the market seems to dry up. For others, maybe it doesn't. We have a lot going on here with the team here at ALG, and with the team, we are growing. We are helping all of you who have questions and you're coming into town, you want to see houses. And then also here locally, we have a very good number of people that we're helping to sell their homes. So that's something where, like, even though the stats do go down during the holidays, that doesn't mean that everything just stops. If anything, it does mean that the tire kickers, the people who just aren't quite sure, maybe they're not here looking at houses right now. But if you're serious and you're like, "We're gonna do this," then yes, shows up, and it works. So it's definitely something that I am, excited to. I don't know, every year, November, December, and January, I tell people to go for it, because, again, more inventory, less people fighting out there for the house. It's slowed down every single year. I've been in real estate now for about 8 years. We've had the team for 5 years, and yeah, I wanna have a conversation tonight with you guys, my viewers, and if you're watching the replay of this video, please, by all means, leave me comments. But I want you to get to know me a little bit, get to know the team, and then I am going to tell you about my crazy day, because I truly believe people have lost their minds, and I'm gonna spill the tea. I don't drink tea, I drink wine. Let's go to it. All right, so why was the day so crazy? And let's kinda talk through that. So if you're watching, do me a favor, leave me a comment here. Let everybody know where you're watching from. We love to know where our viewers are coming from, watching, and what you find interesting. If you have questions while we are on the stream, I like to answer those live here with you. I have different things pulled up in my browser. I can usually look up properties, I can look up areas, I always have a map pulled up. So, that's it, and why have people lost their minds? Oh, y'all, what in the world? And it started early today. Um, I've been dealing with a bunch of different transactions. Everybody tries to close out their deals by the end of the year, and it's always the same. We sell a decent number of houses in November, a decent number of houses in December, and we tee up a lot of business for January. Well, here's the deal. Right now we are working. Oh goodness, I think I have 8 listings under contract. 2 buyers, and then the rest of the team has the rest of the buyers under contract. And so, like, I'm working my deals just like everybody else is, and I do bill clients and so on, and if you are coming to, the upstate and you wanna meet with us, so on, I would love to, say hi and answer any questions you have, and then also introduce you to some other members of our team. Um, there are so many fantastic people coming in. I wish I could help you all, and unfortunately, sometimes I can't. So that's why we have cultivated such a highly talented group of individuals within the team. So, just for example, and I'm going to mention her a lot tonight. One of our agents on the team, her name is Cheyenne, and she is just such a calm and confident presence and very tenacious in helping our clients. She has had 2 clients go under contract in the last week that actually had chosen another house before that. And that's one of my stories tonight. So, whenever you're coming into town and you're trying to make that decision of, okay, it's now time to buy the house, you find the house. Well, what happens next? Um, After you find those houses, like we have to go into inspection period. Here, we call that a due diligence period, and it's something where you have time to get your inspections done. Okay, great. Clients go and do that, and then all of a sudden, oh no, inspections look crazy. They are not good at all, and you go back to the seller, and the seller is like, "Nah, maybe we'll fix some of this, maybe we won't." And then the contract gets canceled. So what does that happen, and how does that happen, and why does that happen? And it's happening more right now than is normal. So normally what we anticipate and what we expect is about a 10% fallout of contracts. What that means, about 10% of my business, I always expect it not to go forward and not to actually close. And that's okay. I never want you to buy a house that you, um, can't sleep at night. So there's that. The other part of this, and the thing that is absolutely blowing my mind right now, is why wouldn't a seller agree to fix something? Is it money? Is it they just don't understand it? Is it they don't feel like it needs to be fixed? So on and so forth. Did they get some advice from someone? And it's really where, I'm looking at it and going, "Hmm, like, your house has been on the market now for 51 days, and you finally have an offer. Let's do it. You haven't lowered your price at all. You haven't, um, like, you haven't gotten an offer before." So here's kind of the rule of thumb. Whenever you are looking at properties here in the area, um, and this goes for most areas as well and most price points. If a property is priced correctly, then yeah, you're going to see offers on it. It's going to go under contract pretty fast. Our rule of thumb and the suggestion, our guideline that we follow is 10 days. I would say I personally go about 2 to 3 weeks. And if 2 to 3 weeks go by and we don't have an offer on a property, then you know what? It's probably a price problem. There's something going on where that's why people won't budge. They won't offer on the house. Um, the other thing is if we go that amount of time and you have about a dozen or less showings happening, that's also a price problem. So when you're looking, yes, like you want to um look at the days on market, you want to say, "Okay, well, what's wrong with this if it's been on the market for so long without an offer?" So there's that. And I digress. Cheyenne's great. She got both of her clients out of contract, on houses in the last week, basically 7 days, and back under contract on houses within those 7 days, because it didn't make sense for them to buy the house. Like, they weren't gonna be able to sleep at night. They her client is just it wasn't the right fit. So those have ended up being happy stories. Now I kind of bring you to today and what I've been dealing with. And I kind of feel like we don't talk about this a lot. When you are relocating, when you are coming into town, when you are like, okay, Aubree, it's time, and I'm gonna come spend a ton of money, and we're gonna go buy a house. And I really like, I love that. I love being able to help you. I love your trust, the rapport that we have, just from having this conversation. And it's kind of hard sometimes because I'm sitting here in front of a camera and I feel like I'm rambling, but I know that you guys watch, and it's important to know about the area. And you're doing research about the area. And yes, I do have some hyper local content I'm going to get to because it's Christmas time. And we will be taking a break here soon from the live streams. And I want you to know what to do whenever you come to visit, if you're coming to visit over the holidays. So there's that. Um, but today I had such an interesting experience across the board, that I wanna talk to you about it and tell you what to expect and how to be really successful when you're making your relocation, okay? So I have, you guys that are coming in and you want to be here. Awesome. Like, you're making our job 10 times easier. You've made the decision, "Hey, we are moving to the upstate." And that's always fun because then we go, "Okay, well, what area do you wanna be in?" And there's so much about all the different areas of the upstate. And just for example, and I'm gonna, share my screen like I normally do with y'all. Um Let's get things set up correctly. We're gonna do that. We're going to do that. Hold on. So when you're coming here, when you're showing up and going, okay, now I need to decide where I am going to land. Where am I going to live? Um, so let's look at this. Here is the handy dandy map I pull up pretty much every Thursday, and we look at this map. And when you're going in and you are searching, okay, we wanna live in Greenville. Well, right here's Greenville, and when I think of Greenville, a lot of people think, "Oh, downtown is so cool." It is, you're not wrong. And, I would recommend, and here's the thing, depending on price point, depending on if you're looking to rent for a hot second to get to know the area, I know a lot of you want to come into the area and want to rent a house for a year. Sometimes that's what makes sense. Absolutely, please do that. I can get you in contact with property managers here in the area if you're looking for a house. I can give you recommendations for an apartment. I have an email I'll send you, no problem, just email me. I will turn around and send that email to you. Um, so here you are, you're trying to decide, is this the area you want to land in? I literally had a listing appointment yesterday with, just a lovely human being, where she and her family relocated here to the Upstate from New Jersey. They've lived here since 2021, and it is just not the right place. So what happens? Um, well, we do something different for our buyers, and we are sending out letters. "Hey, we have somebody that's in your area in this for this house that's in this price point." Basically what we can pull from public record. And, this house was in Easley, probably one of the prettiest neighborhoods I've ever driven through. So pay attention. I'll probably do another video, um, driving through the Middle Creek neighborhood, because yeah, it was great. But they're ready to sell their house, but they're not ready to put it on the market. So where's the disconnect and what do we do? So I want to bring a buyer, and we have somebody who's coming into town next week who's probably pretty interested, in her house. And so what about the Easley area? Easley kinda gets a little bit of a bad rap, I think, sometimes, and, I have a comment on one of our videos currently, about Easley, that the only thing to do in Easley is to go to the silos. Well, yes and no, okay? It's like a smaller suburb here, and we're right here, and it's just one of those things that when you get out from Greenville, you can't have everything of Greenville in every suburb. So it's definitely something that decide where and how far out you want to be from things. Easily is only 20 minutes away from most shopping and, is in a beautiful location, big yards, it's far they're out from people. You're not gonna see the traffic that you're gonna see as you get closer to Greenville. So here's the next thing. Let me tell you about 2 contracts that I've had today, and I feel like story time is a great thing to learn from, especially where I'm in the thick of it. I'm in it, there's emotions involved. I have people that are making huge life-altering decisions with the amount of money that we have tied up in equity, okay? So, story number 1 is we have a seller who has been working so diligently to sell his home, lowering the price. He's been under contract now. We are contract number 3. Uh, the amount of times this is happening and how many times I personally have had this happen on my listings or turned around and been the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th contract on a house here in the last, I would say, 4 months is a little crazy. We just came out of a market that was insane, it was fast. And people bought a house and you went to the closing table, nothing much stood in our way. People were paying over list price by thousands upon thousands of dollars. I think the most I saw during, I think, 2021, maybe even parts of 2022, we went $80,000 over list price on one of my listings with 23 offers. That's not happening anymore, okay? But what is happening is an unrealistic sense of we're still in that type of market, which we're not. Um, so back to the story. I have a we have a seller that has been on the market diligently lowering his price appropriately. He's been under contract twice. I bring the 3rd contract, and it has a home sale contingency. Now, that's not something that is abnormal right now. It's taking a little bit longer to sell houses, especially here in our area. Our average days on market just changed from, 2 to 4 days to 2 to 4 weeks. And when you find the house that you're ready to put an offer on and you're scared you're gonna lose it, you put in an offer with a sales contingency. And we did that. Nice clean offer, no stipulations that were astronomical, and we came to the table and said, "Okay, let's do this." We have what's called a home sale contingency form, and we do that because it protects both buyers and sellers and kinda gives sets expectations, and that's great, that's what we wanna do. Well, 4 weeks go by and my sellers still don't have a contract, or my buyer, now turned sellers on the other side, don't have a contract on their home, which means we have to go after what's called a sales contingency extension. Um, well, we did that, and to do that, this particular seller wanted a $500 non-refundable, which usually in my brain comes out of earnest money. Um And in the seller's brain, it was in addition to, which means we were paying a certain amount of money in addition to the, um, the purchase price. Now, I don't think most people would be happy with that. Usually you just take it out of the, good faith funds that's sitting with the title company or the attorney or something like that. Um, Needless to say, we have now spent over 3 weeks arguing about a very small amount of money compared to the larger picture. Now, why does that happen? And how can I set you up for success whenever you come here to the market and you are ready to rock and roll? Like, let's do it. And we do it, want to do it well. Um, and this is where I go, cheers, y'all. It's been a day. So we are arguing over a very small amount of money. And ultimately, what ended up happening is the agents, me and another agent, just said, "Look, it's a small amount of money. We'll take it out of our commissions." Now, that is not something that any real estate agent is going to do lightly because remember, we've already spent how much money marketing on a home, getting the home ready to sell, countless hours negotiating, having conversations away from our family in the evenings or throughout the days. And those monies, like, we couldn't I have a listing on the market right now I've worked for 2 years on, and I still have yet to see a paycheck on. So, when a real estate agent comes to the table and says, "Hey, fine, like, let's get this thing to the closing table. We're, a couple days, couple weeks out. I'm willing to eat some of this." And then it comes back that maybe the other side doesn't agree or, they are just going after more money because they say for the inconvenience. When they've proven it's really not the inconvenience, y'all, it's just that they're upset. And that's where I'm saying there's emotions involved, and that's why I get involved, is to take those emotions out. That's why we just say, "Okay, what is it gonna take to get it to the closing table? Okay, it's gonna take a little bit of what I've already earned, and I'm gonna give it to you so we can get it to the closing table. Great, let's do it." That conversation went, eh, okay, and we have a bow on it now. So what I mean by that is my buyers are not out any extra money. The seller is happy and is making extra money from the realtors, on the deal. Now, is that fair? I would love to know your thoughts. And I don't even know, like, if you followed that, amazing. Um, but my whole point with that story is real estate and these transactions, even property management side of things, when you come into town and you're looking to rent, where you live is so incredibly emotional, and I don't think it's market specific. It's not specific only to the upstate and how we do this. It's not only specific to real estate. It's not only specific to where you live. I truly believe that you need to make sure that when you're in this, take a deep breath and think it through. Is this doable? Is this something worth getting super bunched up about? And is it worth it to exit a contract? So, there's ways to do that appropriately, correctly. I will never tell you, "Hey, legal advice, we're gonna go talk to an attorney," and we're gonna do that. Uh, my clients were willing to blow up a deal over a very small amount of money over the principal. Um, and me and the other agent just weren't willing to do that. So that's just, again, one of those fun little examples that I go to and I say, "Hey, it's not worth it, and how can I help? And let's walk through it. Let's look at every single possible option and go from there." Now, my next story for you is the next deal that I dealt with today. And again, we're gonna cheers, have a glass of wine, and say today was a hard day and tomorrow will be better. Um, Today, the second story have for you is, about, again, buyers, sellers, transactions that, are together. They are what's called a simultaneous close. So, if you're local or even if you're not local, I get this question a lot of how am I going to sell my house and buy my next house and make it a seamless transition to where I am not homeless in the in between, or I don't have to pack up my entire house and move it, um, and have it sit somewhere while I go stay in a hotel room for 2, 3 days. We don't want that to happen, so we do what's called a simultaneous closing, and then I negotiate appropriately on the back end of things. So today's, next story is we had to move a closing date. My seller, their buyer, and, I don't think I have any problem sharing this. My seller has 7 children under the age of 10, and they are finally, after 2, 3 actually 3 years of, talking about selling their house and moving, we are finally doing it. Cheyenne has them under contract on their next house, and it's gonna be so good. Bigger house, bigger yard, fantastic. All we have to do is coordinate things appropriately, which means closing on their house, that they currently live in, and then also closing on the next house that they are going to live in on the same day. And yes, they plan on moving out m basically everything the day before closing, moving into the next house the same day. Um, all we were asking for was a little bit of flexibility, little bit of, creativity on moving closing dates, just because the lender came back and said, "Hey, we can't make that date. Give us 2 more days. We know we can do it." I would much rather you know these things well in advance. So, again, this isn't necessarily an upstate, a green thing. This is a make sure you know who you're working with. Make sure you understand who your lender is, who your closing attorney is, and you definitely need to make sure that your realtors who are helping these things are being creative if they need to figure out an issue. So basically, we were supposed to close on, a day and 2 weeks, right before Christmas, and, turns out we needed to push it, like, 2, maybe 3 more days max, and we were like, "Okay, not ideal." We already have family scheduled to come in for moving, everything, and gotta move it, great. Every family moves. Then we have the co-op, the buyers on the other side, of our transaction. I'm representing a seller, and, they come back and say, "No, we won't move the closing date." Well, this is what's going on behind the scenes that you guys don't ever know, all right? And I feel like if I can kinda give you a window into what we do, maybe it'll help you have a cleaner, a more stress-free transaction. Because these things happen, and the professionals, the vendors that you're working with on the backside are kind of going to bat for you without you even knowing it. And this is where, like, this is where I earn my living, okay? Um, so that's what we did today. I got to call a, co-op agent who's a sweet older lady, has been in the business a long time, and she has made me mind my T's and Q's. We have dates and times on things, and she like, "I'll do this by this time," and okay, 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 well, and, um, she said, "No," and I said, "Well, no, we're not closing, this is how we're doing this. We have to close on this day, and that's what we are doing. Have a great evening. Go figure it out with your people." Because my clients have 7 little people that they have to move and pack, and your client is a newly married couple. So then I guess I have a question, and then you guys might be thinking this too that are watching, I don't know. who is there a more important person? Or is this really something that is somebody trying to have it out for the other? Like, what is happening there? So, the end of everything, um, the buyers are going to end up moving it coming in and closing on the house on the day that we need them to, and but it was hours of conversation to get to that point. Really, what I realized was that it's high emotions, and it's nobody's really out to get anybody, I think. I think from these 2 stories specifically, I can say that everybody just wants to sell their property and buy their next one and be done. Um, and that's it. What ends up making this hard is when emotions come into play, and when we are in the midst of a transaction and everybody's getting upset, and it's just not worth it, honestly. If we take a deep breath, if we have some patience, and we go after a win-win situation. And that's important too. So, there's that. One other thing that doesn't have a solution, and I think, this is interesting, I'll have to report back, what ends up happening. I have a investment property that I am selling for a client, out of Clinton, South Carolina. Clinton's about an hour outside of Greenville to the south. Goodness, I can't even show it on the map, I go out so far. I don't sell there very often, and, I've been helping this particular seller for quite some time. We have the house, it's been on the market for 2 years. Um, not, ashamed to say that, it's been rough. Um, this house has never had a showing. It's purely for investment purposes. It was supposed to close this afternoon, and, I got a phone call after I asked what happened 'cause, I was in back-to-back appointments today and couldn't make the closing. Um, the property didn't close. Uh-oh, what happened? So here is where I say it matters who you work with, who your lender is, who your attorney is here in the area. So you are coming to relocate here to the upstate, and you need to make sure that you get the best attorney on your side that you possibly can, as well as if you're financing a deal, you have a lender who does things right the first time. And then you have a realtor who also knows what they're doing. So here we are at the ninth hour. My clients have driven in from out of state, and the property did not close. I was not there, and no one called me. So I don't have a resolution to that other than we're extending closing. It's already been extended uh, for financing reasons, but there's so many moving parts to these transactions, um, that I can say with 100% certainty, uh, if we had a better attorney on the file, we probably would be good. So, don't worry, I won't ever use that attorney again. He's not on my list of people to use, um, and, we will go from there. So we have some difficult transactions, but at the same time, I also have fantastic, wonderful people that we work with, deals that are smooth and everybody does what they need to. And the one thing that I can say about these issues that come up in transactions and what's happening right now, and guys, having this happen in the holiday season is it just adds an extra layer of frustration, I think. Because everybody's just ready to get back to their families and back to their lives. Um, the co-op agents. So co-op agent is the agent that I'm working with on the other side of the deal. So if I'm your buyer's agent, you're working with the seller's agent or vice versa. Um, everybody came to the table with a win-win a win-win mindset. Yes, we were all frustrated, but this is where, um, in this type of, uh, market, we really need to make sure that we work with people who know what they're doing and who aren't brand new, who have been there, done that, or have a reputation for being a good agent. Let's see here. Oh, hey, John, how's it going? When you're ready to move and you provide lawyers and lenders, absolutely. I'm gonna show you right here. So, lawyers and lenders that I can recommend. So, actually, and I don't know if you've emailed me or not. I have a nice list of lenders that I would be more than happy to share with you. Couple different ones. Actually, if you go back through the live streams, and you may have been on that one, Brian McIntosh did we interviewed him 2 months ago now, and he's a lender with Homeowners Financial. But I have a couple others that I would love to, um, recommend to you and let you, you know, talk to, see who's a great fit. As far as lawyers go, I have 3 attorneys here in the area that I recommend, and we go through and um, really make sure, um, we really make sure that it's done well. Okay, let's see here. Sherry, with the second transaction, yeah, my second story, would I normally have been at the closing table? Absolutely. So this particular closing, the only reason why I was not there is, one, the closing times had been moving, and I already had appointments that were scheduled and stacked for this afternoon. So, normally, yeah, I go to every single closing I possibly can, and on the off chance I'm not there, usually my business partner, so my director of operations will go, and today she was booked back to back as well, and this closing had been moving around. That's not normal. So, with the attorneys that we use here in the area to close our deals and the lenders that I recommend, like, we don't move things around like that. Your documents are all prepped days in advance. Your numbers on things, like money that you're bringing, the prorations on things, everything's figured out days in advance, and balance everything, and then I can plan around things appropriately. When they're not, then we end up with situations like this where it's, I don't know, I wish there was something that I could have caught, but there wasn't. It ended up being, I don't know, this one's jury's still out on what actually ended up happening, but there is always somebody from the team at the closing, just in case of stuff like this. Because I would say 9 times out of 10, our closings go super smooth. We show up, I'm just sitting there with keys and maybe a closing gift and say, "Yay!" Like, we're closing. No, that's a good thing. Uh but then we have the one time that something like that happens. So, really not fun. I don't have those things happen, but literally I had more things happen today than I've had happen in the last probably 4 months, since I really started coming back, from, this summer. Um so that's a couple things. Something else that I also wanted to touch on, and this has happened, and I've heard this a lot, and this is for you guys that I've, I've talked to a lot. Like, you come on here, you're part of our community, and you've watched every video, you're excited about coming here to see houses, and maybe we haven't quite made the decision. Okay, are you coming here to live? Um, One, I always recommend that you take a tour with Mike Bruce, with Make Greenville Yours. Come tour the area before you go fall in love with a house, okay? I want you to know for sure that you want to live here. I've had multiple people here recently that, have come into the area and they've never been here before, and they want to see houses. They're not ready to buy a house yet. And absolutely, I want you to see houses whenever you come to visit. And we need to be respectful of the people that we're asking to leave their house so that you can see it, because they're trying to sell their house. So definitely one, that's kind of how showings work whenever you come to visit, especially for the first time. And I want you to make sure, okay, we are going to live here, and then let's go and go house shopping. The next step of this is if you tell us, and I say us, me, Diane, Lauren, any other agent on the team, that you want to go see houses and you're pre-approved and you're ready to do it, we're gonna go take you to houses. Um, and then at the same time too, we are going to do our job and say, "Well, what do you think about this? Is this something that you could live in?" Um, if you wanna go at a slow pace, a fast pace, a medium pace, let us know that so that we can have good expectations as well on how we best can serve you. So a lot of times when I have people that come into the area and we are um, looking to buy their house, okay? I'm gonna take you through a house, or Cheyenne's gonna take you through a house, or Lauren's gonna take you through a house, or another agent from the team is going to take you from a house through a house. We do it all differently. I tend to do it like this. Um, okay, so this house on a scale of 1 to 10, um, where would this be as far as, like, being the one? If you're about a 6 or a 7, eh, it's okay. We're not gonna put an offer on it. I'm glad we came to see it. Uh, or if you're about a 7.5, 8, then we're starting to go, "Hmm, you know what? I could live here. Maybe we ought to think about making an offer on it." Or if you're at a 9 or even a 10, that's a unicorn property. We're in offer territory, and we really need to have a serious conversation. Now, the people that are on our team want to help you do that. And we're one of our core values is being tenacious. Like, we want to be the best, the most passionate, the best service for you. And that's what we're doing. That's what we strive to be. We don't want to pressure anybody. We don't want to push you into a house. And we, by all means, don't want to be unavailable. That's why we have the team. We always have somebody that's available for you to go out and see the property and so on. But we wanna make sure that you are as ready as we are, and we are as ready as you are. So making that decision to come out and look at property, I know that things happen, decisions are made. Sometimes you decide, maybe we're not gonna end up in South Carolina. Maybe we're gonna end up in I have a lot of people here recently that have been ending up in Tennessee. Um, if that's where you wanna land, great, go Vols. Um, but really, we wanna make sure that, we make the best use of your time. So that's how it works. Whenever you contact us, when you wanna come in and see property, by all means, like, there will always be someone that is available. It probably won't be me. I take very few buyer clients. It'll be our team, and our team is held to a ridiculously high standard of service and business. We are not your standard realtors, because that's it. Like, we want to be the best, your choice for the area and do things well. And that's it. So when you're coming here and you're making this decision, we also know that All right, and we're back with a good mic. Okay, so with that, um, that you have somebody on your side, somebody who's going to work incredibly hard for you and set really great expectations on what it is whenever you come here. So that's how we work. That's what we do. We'll probably want to set up a 15 to 30-minute conversation with you about what you're looking for, what it looks like to buy a house here, and then what all of this looks like to help you do that. And then when you come into town and you want, if you're coming on an exploratory trip, well, tell us that. We'll tell you all the cool places to go to, the things that you need to go and be a part of. Now, that's actually something I want to show you tonight. So I did promise you some hyper local information um, with the area. So we're actually going to look at, I thoroughly enjoy using Facebook for this reason. Um, the events. So the Greenville community, I know that different communities do this in different ways, but the Greenville upstate, and I kind of lump every into this, uses Facebook a lot and puts Facebook events out there. So if you're coming up for the holidays, definitely pop over to Facebook, put in Greenville, South Carolina, because you can use Facebook just like a search engine, and all of these events will pop up. Now, you have a bunch of different ones that I think are very noteworthy. You have the Holiday Village over at Fluor Field. You also have the Christmas market. I'm gonna be at the Christmas market, Saturday. So Saturday afternoon from 12 to 4. So if you're in town, come to Travelers Rest, come to Trailblazer Park, come see me at my tent at the Christmas market because we're sponsoring a and we always do the kids craft there. So come say hi. Would love to put a face to names and so on and so forth. Other things here, though, we have Movies by the Fire Pit. This is at the Grand Bohemian down by the Bourbon Bar. Cartwright Food Hall is having an art exhibition. Very cool place to definitely go check that out. Lots of makers markets, markets in general where you can buy local. That's something that's really important to the community here as well, is making sure that, um, I mean, it's so easy to go and click Amazon, right? My I don't have the problem, my husband has the problem, there's a box on the porch every day almost. Anybody else have an Amazon problem? Um, so this is something that I really want you to pay attention to if you're here locally. When you do come and you are living here, we have these holiday markets all throughout the month of December. Um, Santa and Mrs. Claus is going to Cartwright Food Hall. If you've watched the videos, you know I have a thing for Cartwright. My friends own that business, and I know Santa and Mrs. Claus that are gonna be there. They're past plans. So, um, I think it's gonna be great. It's something wonderful to take your kids to. Great community. Then you have all of the Christmas parades that are going to be throughout, December. I know Travelers Rest has their Christmas parade this Saturday morning. Simpsonville has their Christmas parade Sunday afternoon. I think Greenville downtown Christmas parade got rescheduled for this weekend, I think. Don't quote me on it, it might be next weekend, but we have that. You have tree lighting ceremonies, and, I know that the Nutcracker just came through the Peace Center. Also the Trans-Siberian Orchestra just came through the arena, downtown. So we have lots of different things to do all throughout the month. It does look like at least 5 or 6 different holiday markets alone. And it's something that, I don't know, I think it's really cool, and you should definitely go check it out. All right, so let's check here with my notes if I have any other, anything else that I wanted to spend time on. Uh, I don't think so, but that's kind of been the day. Lots of crazy real estate things, lots of work that's going on behind the scenes that honestly, unless clients end up watching this video, they have no idea has gone on. And I think that's not a bad thing. I try to protect our clients from a lot of the stressful parts of a real estate deal. That's why I do what I do, is to make it a good, smooth, stress-free transaction. And then at the same time, that relationship is really important to me. So making sure that when you do move here, you're in the right place. You do go through a transaction, you do so well with the highest level of fiduciary duties to you. And what I mean by that is that um, I advise you through every step of the way. I make sure that if there's just a little bit of, um, I don't know, frustration that I can take off your plate and take care of it myself, I will. And do it well, do it legally, and making sure that we take care of our people that come in. I have so many other stories I can tell you, and I hope I get to tell you more stories like this as time goes on. Now I will say, as we are headed through the month of December, I don't know. We're at the holidays. I'm still putting houses on the market. I'm still helping people buy houses even in the holiday season. Um, I always do every year, and that's just kind of how it works. So, with that, y'all, I'm gonna close it out. Thank you so much for um, hopping on here, being a part of this, and knowing that real estate these days is not like it was during COVID. Okay, um, emotions are high still. There's negotiations that happen. We're not paying thousands of dollars over list price anymore. Houses are sitting on the market for longer. And we are still doing things at the highest level that we possibly can to help you do this well. So thanks so much. I will see you next week, Thursday, 8 o'clock, same place, same time, same great little gap. And I'm happy to see you guys. And I love talking to our community here. And I will chat with you next time. See ya.